Good afternoon, Grunts. Your good old Uncle Brian here, back with another one. What about the election, that presidential election? That was something, wasn't it? Well, Trump just kind of blew that one out of the water. Um, I didn't stay up to watch the whole thing. I kind of tuned in off and on. But I would say it was kind of a slam dunk in Trump's favor based on what he's experienced during his campaigning. But the one thing I fail to understand is why the liberals and Democrats are all freaking out. There's word out there that the liberals are crying over Trump getting elected. And I don't know, I kind of think, well, what's the worst that's going to happen? You dipshits gonna have to start paying your student loans back. I mean, isn't that what you're supposed to do to begin with? You borrow that money, and now you expect me to bail you out, expect my neighbor to bail you out, expect my kids to bail you out. I mean, if that's the worst that's going to happen to you, is he just throws that whole student loan bailout program out. Whoop do you fucking do? Pay your fucking bills, pay your debts. But the reality is, I think, and uh, one thing I did notice too is that young men have swayed more towards the conservative side, the Republican side. And I think what a lot of young men are seeing out there is and a lot of things have affected how people are voting nowadays. You got the liberal side, their agendas, you got the conservative side and their agendas, and then in the middle you have your young people, your young men and women who are kind of, like my kids' age that are just up and coming. I've got a 20-year-old in the Air Force, and I've got a 17-year-old still in high school, and so that demographic of people are kind of stuck, or they're not really stuck, but they're in the middle. Okay, and it's because of their age. A lot of times you're just starting out and you don't know which way you want to go. Their world is their oyster, but at the same time they don't really understand. Well, where do we begin here? We're out of school. What's next? We can go to college. We can go to trade school. We can go to the military. There's options out there, but what comes next? And so that demographic there, in particular, the young men that are right now will be your Zennial or your oh Gen Z. I'm sorry, your Gen Z young men are now, which would be my kids' age, are swinging towards the conservative side, and I think those guys are kind of starting to learn the importance of the economy, immigration, because ideally they're competing for jobs with illegals, and so it's kind of, well, we got to do something with the economy. I agree. We got to do something with immigration, which I agree with too. We got to do something with democracy. I've yet to hear, like, on my more on the local side with Nebraska's different senators down to school board members. I've yet to hear what these candidates plan to bring to the table or what their agendas are to make things better moving forward, to do things that the previous person wasn't doing right or failed to do. And so with the political climate, just kind of it's a finger pointing game, it's literally like this. It's like pointing the finger at somebody else or something else. And, and so we're kind of in a deal where now it's just easier to bash one another and on the campaign trail than to sit there and tell the general public, hey, this is what I aim to do. This is what I aim to do versus what he or she's not doing. This is what I want to bring to the state versus what they didn't bring to the state. This is how I aim to make your lives better. And when you look at going back to the presidential campaign, um, Trump's biggest thing was, the economy and immigration, which I think are two very big hot topic concerns with our country right now. And then Kamala, on the other hand, hers is like democracy, abortion. And it's like, well, and abortion's been pretty much handed off, and it's up to the states to decide how they want to handle abortion at the state level. And it's really not necessarily a detrimental factor affecting the country per se, not nearly as important as economy and immigration. And the people have spoken. It's right now. It's about how do we make the economy better? How do we uh, reduce immigration? How do we close, not really like close the border, but how do we maintain a better control over the border? And so for one, I would like to have a cheaper cost of living. I like to see my groceries go down. I like to see my rent not go up. I like to see my gas go down. I would like, insurance go down. And I think if we can get that going, I think the economy would be firing almost on all cylinders. But who knows? I mean, and we'll see how quickly Trump jumps into action when he takes his oath of office in January and gets back in there and gets after it. So I found that was rather interesting. But yeah, I think when I went to bed on that Tuesday night, I think Trump was leading Kamala like two, what's it, like 210, 211 electoral votes to Kamala's 89 or 91 electoral votes. So, I mean, he had a very substantial lead. And so I felt pretty confident that when I was getting up that following morning that Trump was going to be our president-elect, and sure as shit, he did. So congratulations to the Trump campaign for pulling that one off. And I'm not saying Trump is the do-all answer. You got to realize during his first presidency, during the time when we had to, where I guess a good majority of the country stayed home and stayed safe during the cold, he was printing out stimmy checks. So, I mean, it's like he's not much better, but I find myself needing to vote for the lesser of two evils. And I think Trump, being as abrasive as he is on social media, I think he probably is the lesser of the two evils between him and Kamala. So I think uh, I think our country will be in good hands. The liberals and Democrats don't have to cry. It's not like the country's going to fall apart. It's not like we're going to enter into a civil war. I mean, we're still in a decline. And I will always say that I always tell people I'm enjoying the decline, and I truly am. I mean, I'm in a position where I live really good. I live well within my means. I don't get help from anybody or anything. I go to work, make money, and I live very happy that way. So I'm not too worried about what's going to happen moving forward under the Trump administration. I'd have been a little more concerned under a Harris Walz administration, but I still wouldn't wake. If Kamala would have won, I wouldn't have waken up Thursday morning or excuse me, Wednesday morning crying, oh my God, like a bunch of you candy asses were probably doing there when Trump got elected. So, but what I really want to talk about today is it's kind of it's an interesting topic, and I think it's one where this greatly contributes to men um, committing suicide these days, and it's one where guys are the last to know about divorce. They don't know their divorce is coming, and they usually when it happens, they don't know why. You're a guy could be out with his family watching kids t-ball or watching some kids sports event one day, and the next day he's getting served divorce papers out of to him it's out of the blue, and he's wondering, why is this happening to me? Why? And I just kind of want to touch base on some areas that guys can really pay attention to in their wives' behavior when they finally get divorced. Because one thing I ask guys as well, did you notice any unusual behavior with her when the divorce papers arrived or when you got served? What behaviors or things were going on beforehand that kind of seemed out of place to you? And some guys still think, well, I don't know. Everything seemed fine to me. And some of the things I want you guys to look into and look at really carefully is her behavior before the divorce papers come to your front door. Now, me on the other hand, I didn't have to worry about that. Um, I was a contributing factor. Like I said, a contributing factor, not wasn't the reason, but I was a contributing factor. And I knew my divorce was coming. I just didn't know when it was coming. The if was there, but the when wasn't there. So I wasn't completely blind. And then when my wife and I decided to divorce, it was she started the conversation with, well, I'm going to go ahead and start divorce proceedings. And of course, I was being mentally prepared for it. I was like, yeah, I think we should probably get started with that. And it wasn't like, boom, I'm sitting, she's at work as a school teacher and I'm sitting at home, minding my own business. And I get a knock on the door and then there's a deputy sheriff saying, oh, you've been served here, you've been served. And I'm just like, what, served what? You know, her and I came to a mutual agreement that our marriage should end, and that's what we agreed upon to do. And so, but before that, I was getting mentally prepared. I started doing my homework, started research, and started, okay, what can I expect when this is all going on? What's going to happen? So, but a lot of guys, most guys, don't have that luxury. And usually when women decide it's divorce time when they want a divorce, one, they're not happy. And two, they have been doing something to end the marriage, whether it be having an affair, doing, whatever. And so, and here are some things that you should really, really look into behavior wise. And like I said, people change as we got older. Like my wife and I we became two separate people as we got older. And that's not a bad thing. And but as we got older, we bumped heads more on different things. When I got my bachelor's degree, I wanted to advance my job. I wanted to advance it more into a career. I wanted more fulfillment out of a career. And it would require us to move out of town or state. And so we bumped heads on that a lot. And so it was a kick in the gut for me. And I felt a little betrayal there from her from that. And so it really sank my confidence in our marriage a little bit more because, but but here's some things that on from what guys I'll be looking for. And the first one I want to talk about is, over time, people gain weight. People don't go to the gym. We've gotten to become a more sedentary lifestyle where you can have your groceries delivered to your front door. You can order stuff through Amazon and have delivered to your front door. There's really no reason to leave your home other than to go to work nowadays, and that's honest truth. I mean, you can sit there and live your life right from your couch and not move unless you had to go to work. And even if you work from home, you never would have to leave your house if you have your life set up to where you could be sedentary all the time. And so what happens with that is people start getting weight. We have a 60 to roughly 70% overweight obesity problem in this country where people aren't exercising enough. Okay. They're not moving around enough. So let's say your wife gains 15, 20 pounds, and up one day she decides, well, I'm going to go get a gym membership, all while you're still 15, 20 pounds overweight because you two sat on that couch for hours on end watching the latest greatest Netflix series, binging this, binging that. And then she decides, well, I think I'm going to go to the gym. So she's going to the gym, bruh. She's not doing that for you. She's doing that for somebody else, somebody at work or somebody, or even after going to the gym for 3, 4 months, now she's down 8, 9, maybe 10 pounds. All of a sudden she's looking appealing. She's caught the eye of a guy at the gym. Okay. She's spending more time at the gym. She may have even hired a personal trainer that's got her slimmed down enough to where he wants to blow her back out. Okay. And so women typically don't do those things for their husbands. They typically do those for another man that she's interested in, like Steve from sales, Carl from accounting, or, who knows, Bob from the mailroom. There's because she's so used to working for the man. And when she leaves the home, she's working, she's submitting to a different man, her boss or whatever. And then last thing she wants to do when she comes home is submit to your pathetic looking ass. So then she's going to go to the gym because women they ultimately know that if they thin down, get a little trim, they become more attractive. regardless of what the feminine narrative says. Oh, big is beautiful. No, I think most women, I think majority of women understand that big is not beautiful. So if she's going to the gym and she's losing weight, you can rest assured there's another guy probably in the pipeline that she's been talking to. She may not have actually slept with the guy yet or entertained him any other way, but she's talking to somebody. Somebody's taking notice and she's very flattered. It's attention seeking is what it is. The second thing I want to talk about is girls' nights out. I go round and round and round with this with different women. It's a it's a sore subject for some. Others tend to agree with what I say about it. Girls' nights out. Now, there's different variations of this. Back when I was growing up, when your Uncle Brian was probably no taller than this table, um, women would get together in the neighborhood. They would get together in the neighborhood and they would have wine or they would play cards or they would watch latest greatest hot movie out that come out in the 80s. Example would be Top Gun. I remember going up down the street and around the corner to my mom, my brother and I when we were little. My mom went up there to the neighbor's place and they sipped strawberry daiquiris, watched Top Gun when it first came out. Yeah, I'll never forget the tears that flowed when Goose got killed. Oh, yeah, I'll never forget it. Still have that in my memory. That's been 48, 18 to put me at 30, so probably 36, 37 years ago. That would be what you call an appropriate girls' night out. Just a group of women from the neighborhood getting together at someone's house, watching a movie, sipping daiquiris. Not, and then there's the other variations of girls' nights out. Nowadays, girls are going to the bars, they're going to the clubs. Oh, we're going to girls' nights out. We're meeting Becky and Rochelle and Monica at Shooters, and it's just a girls' nights out. Well, you know what happens to areas like that where you got male and females in the same space. There's going to come a time when there's going to be male and female interaction. Girls, like I said, girls love nothing more than attention from men. And they'll take attention from most men, but in reality, if they were to hook a guy, they want the top 10, 15% of the men. They want those guys in the top 10, 15, 10 to 15%, but they're also flattered by the bottom 80 to 75% of guys that talk to them. I mean, it's flattering. It's a reassurance that they still have it. And if they want to, they can turn that into action. Okay. That's really, and that's same with girls' trips. Oh, we're going to Vegas. Oh, we're going to Kansas City. Oh, we're going to Denver. Oh, really? What's going on there? And a lot of times guys don't have a say. They're just like, okay, well, you have fun. I did a video on transactional versus validational sex. And we talk about the difference between the two, how transactional sex is like if I went and mowed the lawn, then my wife would give me a blowjob, or if I change the oil in the car, I would get my peen touched, or what, that's examples of transactional sex. It's not like, then the validational side of that would be if I come home from work and she's all dressed in lingerie and she's ready to jump my bones and I don't even have to ask for it. It just happens. That's validational sex. And validational sex is a lot more exciting than transactional sex. It's no different than, like, a transaction is no different than trading money for a product, except in transactional sex, you're trading a chore for sex. Well, I did this, now you have to give me this kind of deal. And so when women are going out there seeking that attention, they're really looking for that validation. And validation, when they get validated, it's like a turn on. It heightens the hormones, it heightens everything, and next thing you know, they're out there banging Chad or banging Tyrone, and it's great because it's validation sex. It's sex that they will not have with their husband, okay? Because her husband is boring. He's a simp. He's beta. He's the nice guy. He's well, if I mow the yard, can I get a blowjob kind of guy? Yeah. So, um, so watch out for that stuff, guys. Girls' nights out, and everything to look out for is her online presence. Does she have Instagram? Does she have TikTok? Does she, I mean, most people, including men, are on social media, and women have a larger, they have a greater expansion with social media. I mean, they're on a lot of platforms. I've known girls that have been on Facebook, Tinder, or not, I'm sorry, not Tinder, but TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat. When I was online dating, a few girls would be like, well, follow me on Snapchat. No, I'm not following you on fucking Snapchat. I'm not going to be another simp looking to give you validation attention. That's not what I'm about. So pay attention to her online presence, guys. If she's got uh, more than one, I would say more than one social media. So let's say she's on Facebook, plus she's also on Snapchat. I've heard Snapchat is like a cheating app because if you Snapchat somebody, you can Snapchat a girl can Snapchat another guy, and as soon as he reads the message that she sent him, it disappears. So it's like her husband or boyfriend can't take her phone. Well, let me see your phone. Well, there's no chat log there. So pay attention to online her social media presence. If she's got a lot of followers on like Instagram, or she's putting a lot of risque photos up on Instagram, and she's getting attention and validation from hundreds of guys, because you got to understand something, guys. With the creation of the interwebs, and then with internet come applications, and then next thing you know, we got social media, we've got dating apps, we got everything out there. So now, like if you're my age, I was born in the 70s, raised in the 80s, and became somebody in the 90s. And so I always say dating is different. It's a lot different now than it was in the 90s, because back then it used to be your dating pool. Your dating pool was your local community. Like for me, I was born in Panhandle, Nebraska, so my dating pool was that little community I grew up in of about, oh, at one time I think it was about 10,000 people, and I think now it's about 8,500. So at that time, before I joined the military, my dating pool was that community plus maybe the couple surrounding communities that were 15, 20 miles away from there. So and that was also her dating pool too. I mean, it was almost equal for men and women now, or back then, because that was your local dating pool. But now with the creation of Tinder, Bumble, oh God, all the other dating apps out there now, it's global. It's global. You could be a woman living in some small farming community, and if you're a beautiful, attractive woman, you can set up a Tinder account, and you'll have guys reaching out to you all the way across the country. Um, I know when I had uh, dating apps going, I would get likes from girls from Denver, from Omaha, Rapid City, South Dakota, and far places out there, because these women know that they could possibly get a guy that will come to them from my current location or from any location. If a guy is thirsty enough, he will drive or fly to her. And if he's a high enough value man, and if she's able to, she could possibly drive or fly to him frequently. And so, guys, you got to look out for her social media presence. Where is she frequenting? Where is she at? Is she on Facebook? Is she on Instagram? Is she on Snapchat? And then let's not forget that she could be secretly on Tinder, Bumble, or even Facebook dating for all that matters. She's out there seeking attention, and when the right guy comes along, even a married woman can be swayed to wander away. I mean, it happens all the time. And then women typically, um, they're ready to pull the divorce blanket on you. They've planned this weeks, months in advance. You will have no prior notice. But if you pay attention to her behaviors and pay attention to what I'm just talking about, like girls' nights out, losing weight, her social media presence, anything that would those three activities right there is a guarantee that she's gonna get attention and she's gonna get validation from other men, you know, and she's just waiting for the right guy. It's usually a guy that's at her level or above her level at a couple points that she'll pursue. If that guy shows up on her radar, she will pursue a man like that. And so those are things you gotta think about. And I'm gonna read something here from an article. By the time the woman has decided that she wants a divorce, she is already mentally and emotionally prepared and has a support group behind her. You see, guys, by the time she pulls the divorce rug on you, pulls everything off from underneath your feet with the divorce rug, she's already got a her group of friends, all the way from her best friend Becky to her mom Beth, that are behind her, and you have no idea. You could have went to Christmas dinner, you could have done Thanksgiving with her family. Everybody knows, everybody knows or knew that you were going to be divorced. But you're the only one at that family gathering that didn't know. And that's no shit. That's no fucking shit. You could have been to Christmas dinner with her in-laws. Everybody knows, everybody knew that she's going to fuck your life up, but you. But everybody played off like it's a normal holiday get together. Oh, hey, happy Christmas. Happy, Merry Christmas, Brian. Happy Thanksgiving. How you been doing? Oh, you're still working there. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Like, how's the fishing? Blah. Like, here you are. You're the idiot. You're the idiot in the room, but you don't know you're the idiot in the room because everybody is like, it's a normal, but deep down, it's just a matter of time that she's gonna like pull the trigger, execute her plan. And then by contrast, the husband is often caught off guard and has no one he can turn to for support. And that's true, guys. The people that I thought were my friends, the guys that I thought were my true friends, never called, never texted, say, "Hey, Brian, how you doing? I heard you and your wife are getting divorced. How's everything going? Do you need to talk? How you feeling?" Nobody could have cared less if I ate a bullet, and, oh, damn, he did. That's too bad. Yeah, he did go through divorce. Oh, that's terrible. But nobody, and really as a man, you are on your own. You are on your own. You got to pick yourself up. Nobody, I think the only people that called me was like my brother and my mom. That was it. That was it. Like I said, the mutual friends that I had that when I was married, those guys never called, never said, "Hey, Brian, I heard you and your wife are getting divorced. Is everything all right? How you doing?" I've been unfriended by a few of those guys, you know. So yeah, man, you truly are blindsided when it comes to divorce. Because like I said, she's been thinking about this long and hard. And typically women will have a new guy in the works. And by the time she presents the big divorce to you, she's already been steadily dating this guy. She's been coming home late from work. She's been coming home typically after you've had dinner with the kids, she's calling you and says, "Oh, hey, baby, I'm going to be late. I got to stay late and work on these couple accounts, or I got to work on this presentation, or I got a meeting that I got to go to after work. So I'm going to be late." Well, those are more likely bullshit excuses. She's having dinner with Chad, or she's having dinner with Steve from sales, or she's having dinner with Tyrone, or she's doing everything she can to not come home to you in a timely manner. So she's gonna be, by the time you've got the food put away, you got the kids to bed, and you're about ready to bed now. Now she comes strolling home like, "Oh my God, it's such a busy day. You would not believe what I had to do." And she's rattling off some kind of bullshit, some bullshit excuse why she was like late at work when she really wasn't there. So guys, think about that and pay attention. Pay attention to what the wife is doing. If you notice any strange behaviors, you might want to you might want to strengthen your radar a little bit. You might want to be on more high alert because there are things happening behind your back that you don't know is going on. And everyone that's in her network, including her friends and family, are all aware of what she's doing, and you don't know what's going on. There are no telltale signs unless you actually catch her in the act with somebody else. But more than likely, she's sneaking off. Like I said, she's giving you some bullshit excuse like, oh, I got to work late tonight. And she's out getting her back blown out by Steve from sales or whatever's going on. I mean, the list is long of what the women are doing. Um, so pay attention. Don't don't get comfortable in your marriage. Don't don't get comfortable because I'm going to tell you right now, once you lose the genuine burning desire she had in you, and guys, that goes away when you become a slouch. Ask me how I know. I know. Um, about the last 10, 12 years of my marriage, I wasn't getting my wife's best. Okay. Those were the years where she started gaining weight. She started being a little more moody, a little more bitchy, a little more, she became unpleasant. I mean, she wasn't a bitch all the time, but it was along the lines of she's happy enough, but not completely happy. You know, it was like she wasn't super happy to be in the marriage. And but of course, by this time we had two kids, so it was she was kind of toying the line with, well, I got a family, I've got kids, I'll stick it out. Um, had I not done what I'd done, you know, at 19 and a half years of marriage, I don't know if we'd be because I've been divorced now for a little over 4 years now. I don't know. But in the meantime, those last 6 to 8 years, I got back in the gym, started working out, started taking an interest in my health, start putting on a little more lean muscle, start feeling a little more confident. And of course, when that happens, and things go on from there. But yeah, guys, just pay attention to what's going on. You know, be alert to what's happening around your home. Because rest assured, if you get too comfortable, you will be surprised. It's an unpleasant surprise, and it's an upending, turn your world up fucking side down kind of feeling when a woman just out of blue, when you, like I said, when you are completely unaware of what's happening, you know, to you, everything is normal. You know, you go to work, you come home, you cut the grass, you maintain the vehicles, you do the house, um, you're doing some work down in the basement, for example, you're finishing the basement, you're doing whatever you're doing, and all of a sudden, wham, it could turn on you. I mean, your world could be turned upside down in a split second because she'll come home or she'll wait. Just women just know the right time to hit you with shit like that. You know, you could be in the middle of plumbing replace a kitchen, replace a bathroom sink, or replacing a fucking toilet, and she's gonna walk in there. Oh, hey, Brian, I'm not happy. I want a divorce. And by the time she says that, she's already got the lawyer hired. Okay, she's already hired the lawyer. The paperwork is being drawn up now. So you're like, what? Really? Nah, this bullshit. You're kidding me, right? Get the fuck out of here with that. You're fucking kidding me, right? Oh no, no, I want a divorce. I'm just not happy no more. I, no, I'm not happy. I want to be on my own. I want blah 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 blah. What? You're like, what? What the fuck? And sure as shit, you know, within a week, you open the door and there's a deputy sheriff sitting there with a manila envelope saying, "Oh, Mr. So and so, you've just been served." Oh, thanks. And then that's when things start going south. So pay attention to that stuff, guys. But I think that's all I got today. So with that being said, uh, toodles.